Howdy, my friends. My name is Gunnar, Clovis. I'm a game developer, and today I would like to play Soul Protector by NoelOskar. Played all of NoelOskar's games that are on itch so far. They are a now 15-year-old Polish game developer, which is really awesome. Really love playing games by young and new game developers. And their page has changed a little bit from when it began, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while. And yeah, it's pretty solid. Centered text, maybe not the best looking visually, but certainly gets its point across. Has all the information. You know, there could be improvements to grammar. And again, I'm just being nitpicky there. I'm being more nitpicky because over time, as I play people's games more, I'm more convinced they're going to keep making games, which is awesome. That's what I want. I want everyone to keep making games, pretty much no matter what. Yeah, and so I feel like I have to provide some kind of advice or critique, so I'll get more nitpicky over time, which is, you know, how it goes, but that's fine. So this is Soul Protector. It's a top-down shooter mixed with endless runner. Okay, that's actually an interesting premise. Yeah, properly labeled as action, playable in browser, and has a download, which is good. Yeah, I always have as many distributions as you can, in browser being by far the most important. If you can't have if you can have browser, then you can have Windows and Mac and Linux and that kind of thing. And so yeah, it's all good. All right, cool. Ooh, yeah. This page looks nice. This is made for Weekly Game Jam 139. Yeah, pretty good. I'm pretty sure that just happened. What was the theme for that one? Yeah, it does say it's this game created for week 139 Weekly Game Jam, like that. The bolded title text, the header, that looks good. It breaks up the the visuals of the page. There's this little gap here, some extra lines of spacing. That's not really needed or beneficial, I think. Maybe with just one line like this. Yeah, you could argue that. That's okay. But while it says that it was for week 139, it does not say the theme, so I always really recommend saying whatever game jam your game came from and the theme. So the theme for this was followers, so that's good. But yeah, the page looks good. Has custom colors set with the edit theme like you do. A nice blue there, different kind of shades of baby sky blue there, and then a screenshot where artwork is I guess that's just proper artwork. Set static, which is pretty good looking. Yeah, this little knight character, I suppose, or whatever he is, and little tree and grassland looks very nice. Makes the page look unique to the game and quite a bit more professional and interesting. So, Soul Protector is an endless top-down shooter in which you are protecting a knight from demons that want to destroy his soul. You will follow him throughout his endless journey. Along the way, you will find many helpful power-ups that may save you from a near-death scenario. This game was created for week 139 of the Weekly Game Jam. This time, I wanted to make a top-down shooter, but I wanted to make it unique, so I ended up making a mix between top-down shooter and endless runner. Also, this was my first jam game that I collabed on and finished, which was a new experience for me. No issues. In web builds, some players may be unable to see and use leaderboard. Using Windows build helps with this issue. Credits: game design NoelOskar, scripts, art NoelOskar, and sound and music by Bon God. Alright, very nice. Yeah, and then game uses free online leaderboard system provided through Dream. Okay, cool. I don't know about that. A free online leaderboard system for Unity. That's very, very nice. Very good. And yeah, made in Unity, as NoelOskar does. Has multiple platforms. Has a bunch of tags set, which is great. Looks like that's all 10 tags at a glance. 2D, endless, good. Yeah, so that just makes your game more discoverable, gives more avenues for people to find it, gives more information to itch.io so itch can promote your game more in kind of like the new game feed and that kind of thing. Very nice. I would recommend filling out more metadata in the additional metadata tabs when you're editing your game project, particularly filling out the average play session length bit of info. If it's a few minutes, few seconds, half an hour, whatever it is. And they can get deeper where they're providing, info on the input schemas and whatever else you can, which again just gives more info to it, just only helps you. So that's pretty straightforward. There's some typos and spelling and grammar mistakes here. Normally I don't really tend to mention those, but again, played a few NoelOskar's games and he's proved himself to be incredibly competent, especially for his age, doing a really, really great job. I imagine that English isn't his first language, so I would not. I don't want to be like too hard on him, but yeah, if I'm talking about stuff to improve, you can always improve grammar, right? Pretty much, in this case. But it's not so much a problem. Again, I'm just being nitpicky. It's not really a problem because, I could read all of that on my first try, and I'm a bit dyslexic, so if I can read it, then you're probably all good. But yeah, there's just a few errors throughout. But yeah, again, we have this option between low and high, which is really great. This is a custom thing that Noel does, which is really great. So yeah, I'll choose high, I guess. I'm not really seeing any difference between those. Maybe, okay, just the colors. Again, I don't know. Low actually looks a little bit better because the colors look a little bit more saturated and appealing, but I'll choose high and see how it goes. Alright, very nice. We have Sleepy Night. Although it looks weird, he doesn't have the eyes. He does have eyes, but they're grayed out. I don't know. But the little Z animation that kind of moves up at a nice kind of arc and fades away, that's very nice. Very, very nice. And Soul Protector, I don't know, what's that? Up? It said it was demons, right? So yeah, I guess that's an upside down cross, makes sense. But is it supposed to be a sword? Because there's slightly different shades of yellow, and then there's like this brick at the... I think it's probably supposed to be a sword, isn't it? But it looks like an upside down cross. Alright. The settings, that will just be this again, and how to play. Very nice. Oh yeah, nice transitions, as Noel is known for, giving a nice little tweening effect to different menus and that kind of thing. So power-ups, a lot of text here. Holy Water boosts player stats for a short amount of time. Holy Hand Grenade kills all enemies on screen. Health potions heal either player or knight, depending on color of potion. Objective, protect the knight and yourself as long as possible. Protect the knight and yourself. So we're separate. I thought I was the knight. Okay. Enemies. Red-eyed enemies will only target and attack knight's soul. Purple-eyed ones will only target and attack protector player. Okay. Player abilities. Dash while dashing. Player is immune to all incoming damage, sources, and slices through enemies. Shoot! Player shoots a projectile that destroys enemies and enemy projectiles. Enemies. Controls movement WSAD/arrow keys. Really recommend phrasing that as WASD. It just makes a lot more sense. Again, that is good. You need WSD and arrow keys, as I say, as kind of your bar minimum. But you can also provide ZQSD, which I always say, because that's for AZERTY keyboard users, and AZERTY keyboard users instead of QWERTY or Quartz keyboard users, which, yeah, here in the West, or not in the West, it's here in the Americas, in North America at least, we use QWERTY keyboards most often, but in several other countries, France being the most notable, France is a big industry for games, and they have AZERTY keyboard, so ZQSD is the equivalent of WASD for them. So provide that option as well, because it doesn't really add anything more. Shoot, left mouse button, dash, right mouse button. Okay, so read a bunch of text there. I'm not going to remember it all, because it's just how humans work with that kind of thing. So, okay, I can shoot. Okay, so I am the sword. I am a disembodied sword. Here's our knight friend. And I just shoot. Okay. So yeah, knight has health and I have health. And I can dash, which, oh, that looks very nice. Sound effects are very nice. Sound effects are really nice. Particularly that little slice. Can I do that? Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's real nice. Yeah, and all the sound effects are, yeah, they're pretty good. Okay, so I can both shoot and dash. I'm not really sure why I would do one or over the other. Okay, I just turned blue now. don't know what the point of that is. Oh, it was holy water, right. Right, so... Okay, that destroys everything on screen, right. And we have this little meter that's very small and kind of very missable in the corner. That little text. And it seems like the music has now changed because our knight friend has been damaged, which is actually very interesting, very cool. So there, I haven't taken any damage, and I keep getting these health pickups for me that don't do anything because I have full health. So I really recommend when you have a game like this, for health potions or med packs or whatever it is, don't make them spawn unless I've actually taken damage. So there, yeah, the music picked back up, different track or different kind of tempo to it at least. Ugh. Oh. Okay, I died. Oh, okay, that seemed very sudden. Thought I had 2 things of health still. But I must have died. Yeah. So this dropped in very sudden. I didn't really get a moment to see what had happened, to examine that. So I really recommend that when your player dies, let them see what happened. Don't necessarily just kind of bring it to the next screen immediately. Wait on their click, potentially. You don't want to slow the player down, but you also want to provide an opportunity for them to learn from their mistakes and see what happened, because it can be very frustrating when you're playing a game, and especially like in a first-person shooter. That's kind of the worst, because your view is restricted, right, to whatever part of the world you're looking at. So if you die just immediately and go to game over with no view of the world, or a kill cam or anything like that, then it can be very frustrating. So yeah, this global top 10 does not seem to be working. It's all kind of hanging on fetching. I was waiting for that to come back. But yeah, here we are again. Again, music is really cute, and I really like the adaptive music. Adaptive audio is something I really love and I'm very passionate about. Talk about that a lot. So I don't... Okay, so it seems like, or the holy water pierces. It's a temporary thing. I don't know if it's constrained to the number of shots or just a timer after the pickup. But, yeah, that seems like it makes it pierce. But again, I had that red health potion right there, which just does not really help me, because he's already at full health. So don't recommend letting that kind of stuff spawn when you're at full health, because it just feels bad. It feels like I got juked out of potentially another power-up that would have been actually useful. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I would dash versus shoot. Feels like just kind of focusing on one or the other. I try and mix it up to make it more interesting. but they seem to pretty much just do the same thing. Because there isn't really a limit. Oh geez, this one shoots! Oh my god! They shoot now! Dang it! Dang it. Yeah, so you see how they spawn from all directions, but the ones that come from top and bottom are significantly bigger threats, and they feel, I don't know, they don't feel that great compared to the other ones. Because I don't really have a chance to deal with them compared to the one that come from the corners. Yeah, so now the music has really slowed down. Dang it, alright, died again. Yeah, so what... Yeah, that spawn difference of the enemies that come from the top and bottom, they reach me much faster than the ones that come from the sides or corners, and so yeah, it just doesn't feel as nice. Doesn't feel like I have as much time to deal with them, particularly when they're headed for the night. They just kind of get right there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Again, the sound effects look really nice, and as always with NoelOskar's games, visually it's very, very nice. It's a consistent style that he has pretty much all across his games, and yeah, good use of particle effects. See, it's very subtle and restrained, but yeah, just simple little square particle effects on impact to death. Looks good. Looks very good. And I really love dashing. That they just it looks and sounds very nice with that little line particle. I'm down to 1 heart now. Yeah, so the game ends when either me... Oh, so actually just 1 brings me back up to full. Interesting. I thought they'll just heal for 1 heart. Oh, jeez. So yeah, the game ends when either me or the knight runs out of health. There I died again. But the game would only really give me a lot of feedback for when the knight took damage, because then, like, the music changed and there was a like a filter put over the game world, kind of a transparent red, right? And so it was like very clear, like giving. See, you can see it right here with these screenshots. This is full health on the knight and me, and then here. Oh, it's looking really poorly. Gives that little filter, and so it's much clearer that we're in a bit more danger, but it's only because of the knight. And so the knight was like full health there, but I was losing health, and so that, yeah, it's not really equal feedback, because both me and the knight's health was of equal importance, right? In the game design, that was the case, that if either me or the knight died, game over. But it was not equal attention and feedback to both of our healths. It was really focused on the knight. And so that's something to consider. So much of game design and game feel is just communicating things to the player. That's why I always say just give more feedback, give more feedback, give more feedback. The more information you give to the player, like here, hover over the button, slight little change in color to show that, like, it recognizes me. But there could be more, right? It could grow, the colors could change for the text, it could wiggle, could do a bunch of juicy things, which don't work for every game. Maybe isn't the kind of theme or feel you want for the game, but having that feedback is so important, and that's generally what makes a good game design. It's just being very clear to the player, treating the player very fairly. And that doesn't necessarily mean actually treating them fairly. Usually means making the game kind of rigged in the player's favor, but only to the point where the player feels like it's fair. Because we as humans, we're very, very bad at, like, understanding probability and randomness, and we think things are unfair when really they are perfectly fair. Like, again, probability and randomness is one of the most clear examples, where if you flip a coin 6 times, we expect 3 heads or 3 tails because it's 50-50 chance, but that's not how randomness or probability actually works. That it's just as likely, really, to be all heads or all tails. Randomness has no memory. A die, a coin, any kind of random number generator has no memory, so its previous rolls, its previous results, have no impact on the future ones, even though in our human brains we expect it to be kind of an even distribution, which it will be in the long run based on how probability works. But here, the application of this in Soul Protector is how the enemies are spawning. I imagine it was an even chance from what I can figure as a game developer that I've been doing this for a long time, seen a lot of games. My guess, my educated guess is that there is an equal probability of an enemy spawning at any angle away from, the center of the screen, from the knight and the player, alongside the edge of the screen. That it was equally likely to come from the top or the bottom or the corner or the sides, whatever it was. Maybe that wasn't the case, but I feel like that's probably how it was implemented. And again, it just doesn't necessarily feel right to the player, because there'll be times when they just happen to only spawn from one location, only spawn from the top. And again, spawning it from the top and bottom directly above, because of how distances work, because of Pythagoras and triangles and all that kind of stuff, moving from the sides, and particularly the corners, was a lot longer than moving from straight up on the bottom at that kind of right angle from the edge of the screen. And so yeah, it just doesn't feel as nice. I feel a little cheated when an enemy comes right from the top, because it's just so quick. I have such little time to react to it. I would also say that the power-ups in this game, I don't feel like were really working for me, because they're just purely random when they spawn. I, again, really recommend having a little bit more intelligence built into your algorithm. Wait, it's not really an algorithm. That's giving it a little bit too much credit. I've made games similar to this. Like, yeah, it's just kind of a bunch of if statements and a random number generator, right, for when it will spawn, and maybe randomly generate position, that kind of thing. But I would recommend not spawning like the nuke button, which was, what was it? It was the holy hand grenade. That's a nuke button. That's a nuke power up, which a lot of games have. Many of my games have had that in the past. And so I generally don't spawn that unless the player's like really overwhelmed. If there's a bunch of enemies on the screen, then increase the likelihood that will be spawned. If there's no enemies on the screen, just don't spawn that, because then, like, I got that several times and there were no enemies on the screen before it came in, or through the point when it would have been grabbable. And so it just felt wasted, just felt unlucky. It's like in Dungeons and Dragons or a role-playing game. If you roll a natural 20, which is 5% chance, the best result. You roll that at a kind of a time that doesn't matter, like your initiative. People say, "Oh, I wasted that." Again, that's not really how randomness, mathematics, and probability works, but that is how the player feels. And the player's feeling is what we're managing as game designers. That's what we're doing. Just put yourself in the player's shoes. It's very difficult when you make a game. It's extremely difficult. Something that takes a lot of practice, and ultimately, as game developers and designers, we'll never really be able to experience our games as if we were a new player. That's why playtesting is so important. You need playtesting from outside sources who are not familiar with the game, because they'll give you kind of genuine experiences and feedback. And you see the colors change quite a bit there. And yeah, so just manage how your power-ups appear. So the holy water also felt like really useless. Okay, so that was boosting all of my stats, made the bullets pierce. That was the only change I noticed as a player for a very short amount of time. Then again, the health potions were spawning even when we were at full health, so they again just felt completely wasted. You could change this by having some kind of like inventory system, so I could pick up a potion and it would not be used right away. It would wait for me to use it. Right. And so I could save it for when I actually needed it. That would change this game's design very fundamentally, and I wouldn't recommend that for this game. But I'm just speaking very generally in terms of similar games across all genres. It does not have to be related to a top-down shooter. It applies to pretty much any game genre that was utilizing a power-up system like this. There are pros and cons to every game design decision, and you need to just take into the context of your game, what you're designing, what your players will experience, and how that will affect them. So yeah, that's me rambling on game design. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Soul Protector on the silly little series Itchy for Gem. I play your free itch.io games and give my feedback and critique, my feedback and advice and encouragement and attention as a fellow game developer. Really just trying to do what I wish someone could have done for me when I started with game development. I try to leave the world a better place than I found it. It's my main kind of life deal, particularly modernly. And I encourage you to do the same. Please work every day towards your goals, and work every day to leave the world a little bit nicer than you found it. Now remember, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, so forgive thy neighbor, love thy neighbor, and love yourself. That's really important. Self-love is difficult. I definitely really struggle with it, but it's so important, and it's what you need to do to be happy. Like being in a romantic relationship is not a cure-all, and in fact, if you can't exhibit strong self-love, you just won't succeed in a personal romantic relationship, and so that will not solve your problems, and that's a very common thing. In terms of your work, just work on it, work at it every day, no matter what your goals are, what your dreams are. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a deadline. And whatever it is you want to do, I encourage you, don't wait on it, don't sit back. We all have big plans and ideas and that kind of thing, but they don't manifest into anything. Opportunity only knocks once, and you make your own luck. You have to work at it. In terms of game development or novel writing, I'm talking about stuff that I'm more familiar with, because these are fields that I'm interested in and know a lot more about. But pretty much any field, overnight successes, they worked at it for a really long time. And so whatever it is you want to do, just work at it. Work on it a little bit every day. If you want to make games, make a game every day, or work on one rather. I'd recommend making a game every week, or as often as you can, really. Maybe not as often as you can. Once a week is probably as frequently as you should make games, but that's a really good pace, because way quicker than you realize, you will have made quite a lot of games, and your skills and motivation will have improved astronomically from where you started. And you could build up a following, you can have a portfolio so you can work with people, get hired. It's really useful, and it's a great experience. I love game development, I love making games. The experience of developing a game that you made up, that came from your mind, it's totally your idea, your creation, and seeing someone play it and laugh and have fun is so incredible. It's one of the most amazing experiences on the planet, and I wish everyone could have that and share those emotions. But thank you so much for watching. If you have a game you'd like me to play, please drop me a link in the comments. I'd really love to play it. I've been making a YouTube video every day in 2020 as a kind of personal challenge. Kept it up so far. Plan to do so at least through December 31st of 2020. We'll see what happens after that. But my name is Gunnar Clovis. I hope you have a lovely day. Please be good to each other, be good to yourself. Goodbye.